are you?
Fantastic.
So how are you feeling differently at this point this year compared to last year? It was all kind of brand new to you, new school, new starting position. Now you've had a year under your belt, you got the experience, you're excited about this season, obviously. How do you feel different today than you did a year ago?
Obviously the excitement of it is still there, right? I think, I don't care how long you've been playing football, when you get to play your first game that you've waiting a year for, you're pretty excited about it, right? So the excitement is still there, but kind of know what to expect a little bit more, right? I know the offense a lot better than I did a year ago today. Played in the bounce house before, been around my teammates a little bit more than I had been a year ago today, and so still super excited though, and so I think that's kind of the difference in 1 year ago today than today.
John Rhys, you talked about with Darren being your new offensive coordinator. What has he brought to your game, and where have you feel like you made the most leaps and bounds, improvements, leaps and bounds wise?
Yeah, he has helped me a ton from the spring, summer, and now to fall. He has helped me a ton footwork wise, about how to navigate a pocket a lot better than I did last year. How to be able to make platform throws and off-platform throws a lot more accurate with a lot more zip on them too. And so I think he's helped me playing the quarterback position the right way. And there's little tips and tricks that he has kind of learned over the years, and he's done himself as well. And so he's helped me a ton just develop as a passer, as a quarterback, mentally in the game as well. He's helped me a ton.
All eyes this camp have been on the battle at center. How do you feel about Drake being named starting center and Bula over left guard?
Yeah, super excited for those guys, right? Super confident in them as well. I think that's the big piece, right? You don't want to go out there with somebody you're not confident in. Really, all three of those guys, I would have been confident in. And so I'm super excited for Drake. Bula at left guard is something I'm excited about too. I don't know if y'all know much about Bula, but Bula's got something about him that's just a little bit different. He's got a little bit of an edge. He's gritty. He has fun playing ball, and those are the kind of guys you really love playing football with, And so I'm super excited to have, especially those two in the starting five for sure.
With so many new faces on the team this year, whether that's freshmen or transfers, Coach talked a lot about the importance of developing that team chemistry. How would you evaluate where that is right now, and how do you hope that translates come Thursday when you kick off?
Yeah, I'd say that it's really good. I've learned over the years of playing football that the teams that are really good get closer as the season goes on, right? So I'm excited to get closer as a team the more we progress into a season. But I'd say we're a pretty close football team right now. Just like a lot of places around the country. When you go through fall camp and summer and all that with a bunch of guys, the same guys every day, it's hard not to get closer with them. But I'd say there's a little bit something different about this team. I feel, that family atmosphere. You going out there with your brothers, it's something to be said for, and so I'd say it's really good right now.
You just talked about the center battle. How important is that relationship between a quarterback and a center, and knowing that it's Drake? And we got here a little bit later, was here in the summer. What's that relationship like with Drake? How's that been for him?
Really good. Quarterback center exchange, happens every play, and so it's something that you've got to be 100% in. And he's done a really good job in that aspect of it. He's also a really funny dude. Got to spend a lot of time with him off the field for a while. He lived with Trent Whittemore, and I was over there at their house a lot, spending time with him. And he's musically inclined, unbelievable guy, hilarious. But he's really good at playing center too.
Is that about to do it? You got either the bagpipes, the piano.
That's right. We're working on something. We'll see. We'll see where it goes.
John Rhys, you look at the running backs group, obviously you've got a 5 talented players there as well. RJ Harvey looks like starting. What do you see from that group, and how can they kind of help make your game a little bit easier?
Yeah, I think if you look at our running back room, it's explosive, right? And that's the kind of running back group you want. I mean, really, if you had one explosive running back, you'd be good. But I mean, we've got 5 that are really talented. And obviously starting with RJ, I mean, he's kind of the leader in the group and extremely talented, but working all the way down. I mean, those guys are unbelievably explosive, and I wouldn't be surprised if all 5 of them got to touch the ball. I mean, they're unbelievable. I mean, if you put Johnny in space with the ball in his hands, just, kind of press record on your phone because something crazy is about to happen usually. And so it makes my job a lot easier. Go back to your question, you know, if running RPOs or if we got a 3rd and short or a 2nd and short, it's good to know that, hey, we got backs that'll get it done, right? It takes the load off of me a little bit. And so, it makes my job easy.
Turning against State this week, we know they're kind of an opponent with a lot of new faces on their team, new coach. How do you prepare for a team, especially in the first game of the season, where you don't necessarily have a lot of tape on them, or is the focus right now still mostly on doing what you guys need to do and then taking care of your game? Yeah, when you start off a season and you're playing a team, there's kind of a lot of question marks in the air of what they're going to be, but especially when there's a lot of new faces probably over there in their building, and so you're kind of trying to find film of what it's going to look like, and you're kind of trying to guesstimate and try to figure out what they're going to be running, what they're going to do. But I've kind of learned over the years that the first games are all about execution, right? What do we do really, really well? How clean can we play football? And so really the first game, I think for me, is the goal is to play clean football, right? I want to no penalties, no holdings, no false starts, right? I want to play clean football. Don't let the ball touch the ground. Pitch and catch really well. I think that's the kind of focus and the kind of goal for me going into the first game.
Xavier Townsend is one of the younger guys that cracked the starting lineup. What do you like about his game?
X is unbelievable. What I really, really like about X is he's one of the hardest workers in the building. You'll see him every day, no matter what we've done, fall camp practice, whether it's Tuesday, heavy day, X is going to be staying after doing something. And a lot of times guys will be, showered and leaving, and X is just getting into the locker room, and so it's something that I really, really respect about X. And obviously the talent speaks for itself. He's unbelievable. He's explosive as well. And so I'm super, super excited to be able to play with him and have the opportunity to throw to him this year.
And piggybacking off of that, you got 2 seniors in Javon and Kobe that you've built chemistry with for a while now. Just how much of a luxury is it to have 2 guys that you guys just work so well with on the outsides? Yeah. There's something to be said for having played games with guys, right? Having when the Bullets were flying, they were there with you, and so super excited to be able to throw to them, and when they're as talented as they are, it makes it easy on you, and so it's always really, really good to have somebody, a familiar face that, hey, we've done this before, we know what it looks like, I know where you're going to be, I know what it's supposed to look like, but it twofolds on itself, and it's even better when they're as talented as those 2 guys are, for sure.
John Rhys, what is it like when this week you work so hard during the off season and you see that game time's going to be here in a couple of days?
Yeah.
You still feel like a little kid again?
Yeah.
What's the emotions like knowing that your hard work's about to pay off?
Man, it's super exciting, and it is every time for me, right? Whether it's football, whether it's baseball, you work so hard, right? You prepare physically, mentally, right? Getting the game plan right, working on connection with receivers, running back, tracks, right? And so there's a lot of little things that you prepare for, and then I get so tunnel visioned on every day, right? Like, so I'm one day at a time guy. I'm right where my feet are, and then all of a sudden you look up and you're 3 days away, and it's like, man, this thing is getting real close. And so super excited. Yeah, to answer the question, I almost feel like a little kid again, right? It's super excited every time you get to go out there, especially on a season opener at the Bounce House.
John Rhys, I've asked a couple players this. Pre-game warm-ups, what's your routine? Do you have superstitions? Do you have something that you go through? Music you listen to, you have to do? Put one sock on the same, every time the same way? I mean, what do you got that maybe you kind of do it with pre-game?
I'm not really a big superstitious guy, right? I'm not doing, I have to do this in this order to make this happen, I've never been one of those guys. I like to listen to music. I've had the same game day playlist since I was in middle school, and so it's on Spotify, and so I've kind of added some songs as the years go, but it's some old rap music and stuff from when I was really, really young, and so it's something that I listen to. Pre-game wise, I like to get loose, throw the ball around, but no superstitions. At least not that I know of yet. I might, start something in the first game. First game goes well, you got to keep doing it the same way, right? So we'll see, but no superstitions. Yeah.
You can't leave us hanging out. What's on that playlist? Give us a couple.
It's on Spotify. If you just look up my name on Spotify, I think you can you can pop up, it'll just say game day. I have 2 playlists, game day, country, and it's usually what I listen to. And so yeah, a bunch of old songs, a bunch of old Young Thug songs, Drake. I like rap music before a game, kind of get me going. And but yeah, that's what I listen to.
With the highlights we saw released during camp, it looked like the defense came up with some big plays. How would you evaluate the defense from your perspective?
A lot of super talented guys, right? The scheme they're running is really good too. Coach Malzahn has kind of preached on, being where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there, and those guys have done a really, really good job of doing that, and so I'm proud of them, and I feel really, really good about where they're sitting right now. Josh can probably fill you in a little bit more than I can about it, but I'm super excited about them. I say a couple of guys that I'm super excited about are obviously Josh, Ricky, and Lee Hunter. Those guys have really had a really, really good camp, and I'm super excited to watch them play.
We keep hearing Lee's name. What has he done?
Lee, I think you'll be able to see for yourself probably Thursday. But he has really turned the page, I think, as far as having a high motor. He has really done a lot of work to get in shape. He's always been strong. He's always been a playmaker. But last year I think he got tired. This year he's been really, really working about having a high motor, being able to stay on the field longer. And I think it's showing for him. And so I'm excited for him to be able to display that on Thursday.
Did you watch the games over the weekend? There was only a handful.
No, I didn't really get to watch a ton. I know that Rich Rod, his team played, and I think they got the win. My dad was texting me about it, saying he keeps up with Rich Rod and them, and so it's always good for them to get a
So
win.
what's the connection with Rich Rod?
Well, he was my OC at Ole Miss my freshman year. Yeah, he recruited me there, and so kind of keep up with the guys that kept up with me at one time. And so yeah, super excited for them. And but yeah, didn't get to watch a ton, but cool. Appreciate you guys. God bless.
Thanks a lot.
Good luck.
Yep.